Keeway Sixties 300i makes a bold statement as a premium retro-style scooter. It's one of the two scooters from Keeway to establish the Hungarian origin brand in India, and it certainly looks interesting. But it has its task cut out to establish the Keeway brand, which is not so well known in India.
The Keeway brand is originally from Hungary, but it's now owned by China's Kianjian Group, which is the parent company of Benelli and also now owns Motomoroni, the Italian brand. This one, the Keeway Sixties 300i, is the new neo-retro scooter. Gets a big 287cc engine and it's got a completely neo-retro look, and it's the first of its kind in this segment as an offering in the 3 lakh price bracket.
The Sixties 300i certainly underscores its neo-retro design. There's a hexagonal shaped headlight, but it's LED, and a front apron with a fog grille, which seems to be inspired by the 1950s classic American car grille design. The split seats with the quilted design, long wheelbase certainly makes the Sixties 300i remind you of the Lambretta scooters from an era gone by. The fuel tank has been positioned below the footboard, which has also been finished like scooters from the 60s with the horizontal lines on the floorboard. The Sixties 300i has 12-inch wheels, telescopic front suspension and disc brakes at both ends with standard dual-channel ABS.
The Keeway Sixties 300i has got a definite retro touch. If you look at the side panels, it will remind you of the old Lambretta scooters that were once sold in India till the 1970s. Very Lambrettized design here, very Italian design, European design. Up front you have this grille, which is more like a 1950s front end of an American car like a Chevrolet Bel Air or a Buick. So that's more like a car, but yeah, it's an interesting touch there. It's got LED headlight, full LED lighting, and it's got a part digital, part analog speedometer. It's a premium scooter priced at a premium. To me, the lack of Bluetooth connectivity in this day and age is a miss, especially when you're paying such a premium for this kind of a scooter. Under seat storage, there's adequate storage space. You can store a half-face helmet quite nicely. A full-face helmet, I'm not so sure. You also get a front compartment where you can tuck your phone in. It's got a USB slot here. You can charge your phone on the go. Very nice quilted finish here, looks quite premium here. But the seat is a little broad. Although the height isn't much, but the seat itself is a little wide and broad here. So with my height, the seat height itself is 790-95 mm, but I have to still tiptoe because it's wide at the top. The riding position is something which will take some time getting used to because you sit low down, but the handlebar is slightly raised. So those are the ergonomics and the comfort. Ride quality we'll talk in a bit, but overall, interesting looking neo-retro design, very Lambrettized from the sides and quite nice looking actually, and no complaints whatsoever. Only miss is that Bluetooth connectivity is not there. That's a miss, especially at this price point.
On the move, the Keeway Sixties 300i certainly impresses with its performance. There's a strong wave of torque which makes light work of propelling the scooter ahead. Initial acceleration is quite likable, and the Sixties 300i will hit the turn and more when pushed. With its 146 kg curb weight, it remains planted and gives you a sense of stability, at least in a straight line. Around corners, the Sixties 300i remains planted despite its long wheelbase. But it's when you hit some broken patches and undulations, the Sixties 300i's ride quality feels a little out of place. It's the rear suspension which bottoms out more, and pillion comfort is somewhat sacrificed. And the lack of a backrest and a soft rear seat also makes it uncomfortable for the pillion.
So the 60s is powered by a 300cc engine, so power is about 18, near about 19 bhp a lot of torque, so there's no dearth of grunt whether you're riding alone or with a pillion on board. So performance is quite likable. It'll hit 100 and stay at 100 quite comfortably. No dearth of performance there. Of course, the riding position is something which takes some time getting used to, and especially the ride quality is something which could have been better, especially over our road conditions, over road undulations. The Keeway 60s feels a little bouncy and unsettled if you're going at a decent enough clip between 90 and 100 kilometers per hour. So the ride quality could have been better. Handling, no complaints there. The brakes, it's got discs at both ends, so quite nice stopping power, but could have had a little bit more bite and progression. That would have made it even better. More confidence inspiring when you're braking at high speeds.
The Keeway Sixties 300i does make a bold statement, and it will appeal to some looking for a step up in the scooter segment. Price no bar. But then you get decent performance from other sporty scooters at a much lower price point, like the TVS Ntorq 125 and the Yamaha Aerox 155.
To me, the biggest strength of the Keeway Sixties 300i is the way it looks. It's a neo-retro flavor. Nothing quite like it in the market, and nothing quite like it at that price point. But yes, if you're spending over 3 lakh ex-showroom, it could have had few more features. It lacks that premium aspirational value that could have made all the difference between a good product and a great product. So overall, not a bad scooter, yes, but for that pricing, I feel the Keeway 60s are a little overpriced.
The biggest challenge for the Sixties 300i will be to find takers at its price tag. And it will also compete with a lot of performance-oriented motorcycles in a market where value for money, performance, features, and brand are all big considerations for the customer.